I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is May 10th, Friday, 2024. Hope you had a good week and day here. So, if you watched yesterday's video, I called it and mentioned it to the head where we would just continue straight up, blow through the highs, and we would come up to this area here and then sell off. Okay, so watch yesterday's video. You'll see it closer to the end of the video, 5 minutes before or something like that, mentioning that. So the logic is what? Well, we use this imbalance here, which is the 6th of May, drag that over. This swing low got created. Wednesday's low never got hit, and then we just are pushing up, right? So built liquidity on the top side, which it did nicely. If you look on the 4 hour, you can see it here. And then price just shoots up, goes straight to, does not take out that high, which is common. I mentioned it, either we're going to sell from here or above here. And if they want to squeeze it and be dirty, they'll do it real close, and that's what they did. But what was more important to me was two things. Was the number one was the gap here, right? And then number two, it's Friday. So the last day of the week, we're looking to build the actual wick of the week, right? So you're going to get that little sell off, and we would prefer that, at the New York session, right? So now that I have mentioned all that, take a look here. You'll see, we missed that high just by not much. Let me put a line there, just so you can see how much we missed it. Not much. We're talking 348, 2.5 points. That's 10 ticks. So, but what was more important here was that if you don't have this on your chart, man, you're fucking snoozing. I'm very, very clear. I'm telling you, put these damn gaps in your chart. Look it to the head, seal. So when I see that type of precision, rejects, right? Rejects, I'm already in it. Comes back in. I want to see this last up candle, which is the 1049 candle. I want to see that up candle hold as resistance, right? And it beautifully does. And then also, you see 10 o'clock. We had 10 o'clock news today as well. And boom, push the price down. So, and when you're taking this trade, you're obviously, again, what I just mentioned, if this was the high of the week, right, and you're looking to create the wick of the week, right, very basic knowledge, right, you want to see reverse. You want to see, I'm not even waiting for a break of structure here, because I understand that. If you waited for a break of structure, then your next goal would have been to get into right here. How would you have got in? Well, you can see this imbalance right here. All right. Can't see that. And then you'll see right there it taps right in. That's what you need. And then you also have this down candle. We broke through it down and came back up. So this is pretty much holding as resistance as well, as far as order flow is now going, right? And then you also are using the bottom of the actual gap. So it's bumping it. Can't you see that? So that's if you had the bias of continuing. Now, some will say, well, what about us making a new higher high and this is a higher low? Because if you look to the left on the 15-minute chart, that is the order flow. This is how it did roll. Higher high, retraced to higher low, 830 brought it down, and then right here, as you see, you had this 9 o'clock and this 930. When the 930 dropped it down, yes, the opening range, not opening range gap in the orange is in the background. This is not the opening range. This is the opening range gap. They're two totally separate things. The opening range is after 930 to 1030. Sometimes 10, but you'll say 1030 is the finishing dealing range, opening range. All right, this is the opening range gap. So we pop down a little bit, and keep in mind there's a gap behind it that's using as support. It came and touched these last two down candles right here, See that? Dipped in, beautiful, and held as support. But really, if let me just squint out. If you see this, this is just a higher high and bumping against that gap. Look at the fucking precision on the gaps. But what's the point of this? This is just building liquidity. So as a higher high to then make the higher low, right? And then from there we shoot up and raid. Once we raid, we know where we are here. We've talked about it all week, right? All fucking week, as a possibility, I should say. And then yeah, so after that goes, you understand that these failure swings here, these higher lows, these engineered liquidity, you're attacking that. So me personally, I'm trying to attack the rest of the opening range. So obviously coupled with the liquidity there. So if you look at it to the left, it's just you saw the higher high there, which was made at 3 in the morning, retraced back at 4 in the morning or whatever. All right. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and you expect a break. All right. So, anyways, so that's why I'm telling you, you're not looking at this as a buy, right? I mean, you would have been disappointed, obviously. And if you waited for a structure to break and you took that, fine. That's no problem. If you really thought I was going to keep going up, that's on you. But at the same time, it's not realistic for the end of Friday, right? But okay, I'll get to that in a second, but I want to make this video short. But just attacking this, the opening range, and you could have attacked even the opening gap of today, which is in the back. You also the opening price, which is midnight right there. You also had a gap here, and then you had some liquidity. So some of this, right? So this is the logic of coming down, right? But here's the kicker: while all of this is going on, the beautiful, well, before I even switch to the dollar, you can see that we're already oversold here with there. And then when we pop up, this 930 shoots it down right here. It's still you see how we never reached the overbought area. Now this is just a higher low in here. So then we shoot up. When we shoot up, we do hit the overbought area right here. I actually take a loss here trying to catch this. Because this was 50%. I didn't catch this, but this is what I tried to catch because I was a little impatient. But if I put a fib here, you'll see that it's 50%, right? So that's an area where it can possibly sell. So let me just do this real quick. So you see that. So once this tapped here, and keep in mind, if you look to the left here, you'll see that at 50%, we're damn near hitting this high. Remember, if you watched yesterday's video, I was mentioning that I got out on after attacking that high and not that high, and I made a good decision. Remember? So this is the same logic. Let me put it on a 4-hour real quick. See if that can. Oh, it is on the 4-hour. So then maybe I need to make it big as hell. Oh, this is not helping. It's going slow. Let me just make this big as. Okay. Oh, you can still barely see this. See this? Oh, see this high right here? See how the 50% level? Let me move this over. See that? Jesus. Okay. God damn. All right. So at that 50 level, when it's at that 50, and I knew we took that high, that's why I'm attempting that trade to sell from there. Okay. So now you can clearly see what I'm talking about, right? So that being the case, no problem. Shoots up. All right. Then I get the nice reaction right there at the head of the top of the gap. I mean, it's perfect. It's not like a little over. It's just beautiful, right? So that being the case, this is why I'm headed down to take out this liquidity. But now that I've mentioned that, we also have now you're getting your lower highs here, and you're expecting to come down. But while that's happening, the beautiful thing about that is that look at $830. Look what 830 does. 830 shoots the price up here. all right, and wipes out this liquidity here, all right, and then switches, almost overbought here, but right at 8, whatever this is, 850, the price shoots all the way down until about 9:45, 10 o'clock, right here. See that? So that right there shows you, where is this? See, so this is 8:30, shoots us down till about 9:30, 9:45, shoots us all the way up. While this is, I mean, if I put a dollar on the side, you'd see it very clear. I don't know why, if I can, how I could do both right now, but you'll see that we are pushing up right when dollar was coming down. Now when we get to 9:45, 10 o'clock, what I was telling you about right here, we start pushing down right here. But I got two screens, right? Look at 10 o'clock here, right here. See the switch? Look at the oversold. Boom. Shoots all the way up, 10 o'clock, all the way till it reaches our bottom of the day, which is right here. This whole area here. And then when we reached this bottom area, they reached that top area, and then they started retracing back into here. And we settled pretty much that way, right? So again, you have to watch this live, and that helps with all these decisions. So, whoever's frustrated and you see me catching these trades. Well, I mean, one thing I'm going to tell you, number one, it's a lot of experience. Number two, I am using this formula. So if you don't have these fucking gaps on the chart, and if you don't have dollar to the side of you, and you don't have the divergence happening, how are you going to be making some of these decisions, right? Long story short, also, to add confluence, you had Dow here, you had lower highs here, and then you had higher highs here. All right, so that was time for it to be reversed, and each asset had already took out the previous liquidity on the top side. So it's just a higher high. I mean, but you expect it to fail to make a lower low, right? So, and then when we were down here, I was done for the day early, like before 11 o'clock. But once you had this higher low here, this kept the price up right here. So you had a divergence right there. Now, what's crazy is that, I can't wait to start trading multiple accounts. But obviously, like in the prop firm, I'm watching people on the internet, and they got 20 accounts from Apex, for example, and I'm just like, yo, man, if I fucking get into that, I'm gonna murder this shit, because I'm already sitting here swinging for fences in a way. I'm not a swing trader, but I'm intraday. But these people are, making 10 points, and they're fucking, excited as hell. I'm like, okay, motherfucker, my stop loss is 10 points. What the fuck? So, I'm a little old school, but I'm older than these guys, even on the internet trading and, on YouTube. And but the crazy thing is that they have 20 accounts, and they're looking for $500, a $500 trade, which is, let's just say 10, 15 points or whatever. And, but you multiply $500 times fucking 20 accounts, and they made $10,000 in fucking a 10-point move, which is to me a couple candles, right? So I'm just like, yo, I'm doing this all wrong. But at the same time, I've been training myself to catch real trades, real moves. These guys are over here trying to buy this type of shit right here, and then they're trying to sell, like, which is fine. You can, like, if you didn't have any structure shift and you didn't know what was going on and you waited, well, you could have waited for this to break here and come back up to seal. So lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. You can see the structure down there, right? So from lower low, because you broke, you retrace lower high as like sort of like a resistance, so to speak. You could use that as a resistance block right here for this example, this 930 candle, right? So we blow through it and come back, right? So from here, and then they're taking this high, this lower high to this lower low, and boom, fucking their day's done. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to shit on them or anything. It's because they got 20 fucking accounts, and yeah. And to me, man, my life will be so much easier, because sometimes the way I trade is a little more stressful, right? Depends. But what they're doing, I mean, fuck, they're catching 10 points and 20 accounts, and boom, they've made 10 grand in minutes. And I'm over here trying to hustle my ass off and for the same thing. So imagine me catching a $10,000 trade times 20 accounts and making fucking, $200,000. Like, yeah, they have, obviously they have prop firms and this and that, and they're using that. But hey, I think it's fucking great. And I was looking into it a little bit, but I mean, I have a Mac, and it's fucked up, man. I didn't, obviously I know I should have always been a PC guy, using doing trading. But I'm not originally a trader. I'm originally using a computer. I'm originally a musician. I'm originally a creative person, as far as that goes. So that's why I always had Mac. So when I built this my setup, it was Mac, because I'm fucking, I don't even like PC, and now it's biting me in the ass a little bit. I might have to use TraderVate's platform. I can't use TradingView here because they won't let me link accounts. So I might have to use TraderVate and all the other, like, all the other softwares like NinjaTrader and Sierra and all these other softwares. They don't use Mac. So I was like, dude, it's 2024. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? I was like, But anyways, I got to figure out how I'm going to be able to try to get involved with that. But it looks like TraderVate's the only way to do it. Their actual trading platform. So now I need another screen while I'm trading on the side, and I just don't want to do that, man. But we'll see. Maybe I'll just get a whole nother computer on the side or something. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I hate computers, to be honest with you. But yeah, man. So I couldn't. I just, like I said, I couldn't believe these people on the internet, man. They're just fucking 10 points, 10 point trades, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, I'm over here fucking doing this. So yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting if it works out for me. But where do we go from here? Well, remember I mentioned also that the week they might wanted to keep the price up here so they can have a body closing above that gap, right? Generally, the daily is at minimum, but sometimes the week too. So they did that, and that's why they kept the price up here. But I'm assuming that this is a raid, and that we would now maybe come down into this area for next week, right? Because we have also these week gaps right here, and these weekly gaps, I should say, and we want to see a body come down and generally wipe out some of the buyers here. But or I mean, we blasting off, because a lot of people sold in May. A lot of hedge funds sold in May, and now, the algorithm, they are gonna punish them and push it up. Just like when all those CEOs were getting out, like down here. Remember when they were getting out early? I forgot where it was. Somewhere in this vicinity. I forgot. It's either was it this highs or this highs? I can't remember. I want to say it was over here, but they pushed it up higher, right? And I could, But anyways, this also looks like what do you call it? Um, I mean that 18,000 level, right? We're at 18,239. So everybody at that, all the people with fucking what do you call it? Like 401ks and all this and that. They're like, yeah, we're back at 18 something, But this is an opportunity for them, or for us, other investors, to get out. This is their buyer's remorse. I mean, they put the price up here, they dropped it down. They were fucking shitting bricks down here. Oh my god, it's sinking. Came back. Oh man, it's back. Now they're thinking, oh, maybe I should get out. And they're giving you that opportunity. So I don't know if that pushes us down again for one leg, or are we just going straight up? Obviously, you guys take care. Have a good weekend, and God bless.